Welcome back to another lecture of fluid mechanics. So today in this video, we are going to discuss about what a pitot tube is and what its function is. So a pitot tube is basically a tube which when inserted into a pipe measures the velocity of flow that is occurring through that pipe. So here in this diagram, you can see there is a pipe. Okay, these two lines represent the boundaries of the pipe, and through this pipe, any fluid is flowing. Okay, a fluid is in motion inside this pipe, and what has been done? A tube has been inserted into this pipe. So this tube is known as the pitot tube here, which is basically made up of glass, right? And it should always be kept in mind that the pitot tube should be inserted at right angle, or it should be bent at right angle and inserted into this tube, and it should always be inserted in the upstream direction. What is the upstream direction? See, suppose in this pipe fluid is flowing from left to right. Let me just show you. Fluid is flowing this way. Okay, so but contrary to this direction, what is done? The pitot tube has been bent at right angle, and it has been inserted in a direction opposite to the flow. Okay, so this is your direction of flow, but the tube has been inserted opposite to the direction of flow. Okay, now what will happen? Now the fluid which was flowing through this pipe without any obstruction or without any hindrance, it suddenly encounters this pipe. And what happens? Suddenly, due to the existence of this pipe, or due to the occurrence of this pipe, the kinetic energy of the motion, okay, it suddenly gets converted. Okay, so basically what happens, the motion of the flow, it ceases, it stops, and which is why an enormous amount of pressure energy is been created. Okay, so what happens basically, whenever the fluid which is flowing through this pipe is encountering or coming in contact with this tube or this inlet of the tube, what happens? The motion of the flow ceases, and some pressure, and due to the sudden ceasing of the motion, a certain pressure is being generated in this fluid, right? What happens due to the generation of the sudden pressure, due to the motion getting halted, the kinetic energy of the flow which was already there, it gets converted into the pressure energy, right? So what happens? The liquid, as it is encountering this tube, the liquid enters into the tube. First what happens? The motion ceases. Then since the tube is there, the liquid will enter into the tube and it rises up. Okay, and it rises up inside into this tube due to the conversion of kinetic energy to pressure energy. So this is the basic principle of the pitot tube. See, I have written down the principle. It says that if the velocity of flow at a point becomes zero, right, what is happening? The motion is coming to a halt, the motion is ceasing. What does that mean? That the velocity of flow is suddenly becoming zero, and due to this, what happens? The pressure gets increased in the flow, right? So as the velocity of flow becomes zero, a pressure is being generated in the flow, and the entire kinetic energy of the flow gets converted into the pressure energy. So this is the basic principle of my pitot tube. Okay, now why are we inserting this pitot tube? To measure the velocity of flow which is taking place through this pipe, right? In order to find the velocity, what you have to do now is you have to choose 2 points or 2 sections. Clear? Now one point, this is one point, and I have chosen this point far away from this tube. Okay, and the second point is this point here. Okay, this point I have chosen just at the inlet of this tube. Okay, so let us see. So at point 1, we will have the pressure intensity as P1, right? So here I have taken P1, which is equal to pressure intensity at point P1 at point 1. Then at point 2, similarly, the pressure intensity, we can write it as P2. Okay. Now the velocity of flow in this pipe is also the same velocity at this point 1. So that is, we are taking it as V1. Okay, so basically the velocity of flow through this pipe has been assumed as V1, and the velocity of flow at the inlet of this pipe, that is at point 2 or at section 2, is V2. Now what did I say? As motion, as the fluid is encountering this pipe, what happens? The velocity becomes 0. Okay, the motion stops, as a result of which the velocity is becoming 0. So basically at the inlet of the pipe, the velocity is nothing but 0. So here we can say that V2 is equal to 0. Clear? Then what do we have? Then we have capital H, which is the depth of tube in the liquid. And okay, let's see what is capital H. So this is capital H. Okay, this is capital H. This is the depth of the fluid in this tube, okay, inside the pipe or inside the liquid. And small h, let me show you. Small h is the rise of liquid in the pitot tube above the free surface. So this is the boundary of the pipe. Okay. Small h is the depth of the liquid in the tube, or the rise of liquid in the tube above this boundary or above this free surface, and capital H is the depth of the fluid inside this pipe, right, within the boundary, okay, below the boundary or below the surface. Clear? Now, so what we have to do now is that we have to apply Bernoulli's equation. Okay, as we all know that Bernoulli's equation states that the total energy or the total head at any section will be constant or will be equal to the total head at any other section. Or in more simpler words, we can say that the total head across any section in a fluid flow through a pipe or a channel is always constant. But this statement is only valid for ideal fluids, not for actual or real fluid. So this is basically the Bernoulli's equation. So since we have chosen 2 points here, 1 and 2, okay, 1 and 2. So what we can write that P1 plus rho g plus V1 square by 2g plus Z1. So this is the pressure head plus the kinetic or the velocity head plus the datum head at section 1 is equal to the total head at section 2. Total head is the summation of pressure head, velocity or kinetic head, and the datum head. Right. Now, say I've written Z1 is equal to Z2. What does this mean? Now you have to see that this point 1 and 2, they are lying in the same level, right? They're lying in the same level. So there is no difference between these 2 points 1 and 2. Hence, what do we have? What is the conclusion? We can say that Z1 is equal to Z2. Okay. So if Z1 is equal to Z2, then these two terms will cancel out. Okay. These two terms will cancel out if Z1 is equal to Z2. Now, another thing that I have already mentioned is that the point 2, this at this point, that is at the inlet of the pipe, the velocity of the motion is becoming 0, right? So velocity at this point 2 or V2 is equal to 0. See, I've already written here. So what do you have now? You can say that this term will also become 0. Okay, so this is getting cancelled to 0. So what do we have here? We have P1 by rho g plus V1 squared by 2g. What is V1? V1 is the velocity of flow through the pipe, and that is equal to P2 by rho g. Okay, these two terms have been cancelled. This term has been cancelled. Okay, now what is the pressure head at section 1? The pressure head at section 1 is nothing but this capital H. Okay, this is the pressure head at section 1, and for section 2 the pressure head is given by this capital H plus H. Okay, see, because section 2 we are taking it as at the inlet of this pitot tube, hence the pressure head will be equal to the total rise of liquid from section 2, I mean from this level up to the very end of the liquid surface in the pitot tube. Okay, so let me just clear the drawings. All right. So we have pressure head at 1, that is P1 by rho g. This is equal to capital H, and pressure head at 2, that is P2 by rho g, is equal to small h plus capital H. Now what do we have to do? We have to simply just substitute the value of P1 by rho g and P2 by rho g in this equation. Okay. So we were having this term, had been cancelled, and these two terms had also been cancelled, and we are just substituting the values and we are getting this equation. Okay. Now again, see, we have 2 capital H at both sides of the equation. So this H and this H is also getting cancelled out. So finally what do we have? We have small h is equal to V1 square by 2g. And if you just rearrange this expression, you get V1 is equal to root over of 2gh. Okay, what is small h? Small h is nothing but, if this was my actual pipe and this is my pitot tube, this is my pitot tube, and if the liquid inside the tube has risen up to a depth small h from the boundary or the free surface of water, if this is small h, okay, then we can say that the velocity, so this is the velocity of flow, this velocity is equal to root over of how much? 2g. G is nothing but acceleration due to gravity into h, small h, okay, which is the rise of liquid in this tube. So now see, we did not take into account all the losses that might happen inside the tube. So basically the equation which we have derived here, that is V1 is equal to root over of 2gh, is only applicable for ideal fluids, okay, not for real fluids. Okay, so this is basically the theoretical velocity. This is the value of theoretical velocity for actual. Now in order to find the actual velocity, or for real fluids, you have to take certain coefficient, okay, and that coefficient is known as the coefficient of pitot tube. Okay, so now we just multiply this value root over of 2gh with a factor or with a coefficient, and this coefficient is written as Cv, which is equal to the coefficient of pitot tube. So this is how you are going to get the actual velocity of flow. Okay, so meet you in the next video.